It's my last chapter in Staring at the Sun. I'm very excited. So I read my entire book from beginning to end, and I'm very excited. This is a great accomplishment for me. So it's chapter 20, Lady in Black. Lady in Black is the chapter that started it all. It's the foundation to the Staring Girl Shadows, and I'm wanted to make it the last chapter in my first book because it's really the first chapter in my whole series. So let's go. Chapter 20, Lady in Black. I'm 18 years old, about to graduate in 2008, giving real pause to what direction I needed to go. By this time, I had been in the war of substance abuse and generational trauma for 10 years. I was a seasoned soldier. Nothing scared me. I have seen so much by this age that it took a lot to shake me. It took a lot to shock me. I was a lost girl living in the world of forgotten children. I had nothing but the shoes on my feet, and they had holes in them. I was hurting. I did the only thing I knew how to protect myself: fight. Scratch, claw, lash out, which always got me into so much trouble. The last night at the colony, I was going to enjoy it. No reason to live in yesterday when we are here right now. The future will work itself out. Just make the next right decision. Now we dance, the dance. Everyone was heading to the colony music show in town. This would be the last night any of us would go to the colony. We grew up in those chairs. We found love. We lost love. We were all in our fields and seeking a good time. The boys were grown, and my curves have cursed a trail of J-boys. Nothing I was Honestly, I was feeling high on the horse, remembering the first time I was at the colony. All these boys that were trailing me with their jaws dragging. 4 years ago, they told me I was too loud, too big, too funny, too bright, too much baggage. And again, I was too loud, too big, too funny, too bright, and too much baggage. It was making me feel bitter, filling up my weird purses with lemons along the way. Each backhanded comment, each put down, each expectation of what someone would rather me be, all those baseless expectations did not matter. In this moment, choosing to be myself has revealed that I am the hottest girl in school. Every person was looking at me. Now, this could be in my head, but that is the secret. In my mind, I decided to see myself as the most beautiful woman in the colony. This helped me to glide through rooms without fear. That's like my song right now. And not on purpose. That's God. I told my demons to shut up. The secret is that I told my demons to shut up. I'm so excited. I'm going to end up having to read it again. I might read it again, but I'll post this one. I told my demons to shut up. The secret is that I control my perception of myself. The secret is that I control my perception of myself. It never matters what someone else thinks of you. If I like to wear it, I did. If I liked it, I went for it. I was the first person to do the thing. I only ever wanted to have some fun. And at my core, I'm an adrenaline junkie. In early high school, my perception of myself was that I was Josie Grossi, the never been kissed girl. And then with the guidance of Queen Bee, I was getting more confident. Then I got kissed by my old friend. After my 17th birthday, when I smelled like cheese conies, I had like 11 shirts on and my green pea coat. I was at my worst after a long night of dancing and sweating, dancing with my old friend, who at the moment in my life was my best friend. He made me melt every day and night, and I was crazy in love with him. He would send me something to read, listen, or something he drew. It was everything I wanted, but did not know I wanted until he presented it to me. He came wrapped up like a present just for me, made from heaven. He was sensitive, sweet, funny, sarcastic, interesting, charming, and my favorite thing about him was that he really did care about me. When I looked at him, I seen Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice. He worried for me, and I felt that. He was always nearby when when my best friend's ex-boyfriend was taking something that did not belong to him. My old friend would be near and would be upset. Honestly, would pull my hand and take me somewhere safe, hiding me with his sister like a play we did called Anne Frank. My old friend had sisters. That meant wolves came around. He looked at me like his little sister, and I know this because he told me. We spent a lot of time together working on productions. Play productions take hours of prep to get ready. We had a lot of downtime. Our parents were always the last to pick us up. We both we were both forgotten kids in a world where addiction is spreading like a wildfire. Seemed like the blaze would it seemed like the blaze was hitting us poor folks first. Now the puberty hit, and the wolves started sniffing around me like I was fresh meat. And luckily, I was so deeply in the faith, I built a rock city around me. Also, I did not trust me. I listened to a lot of Usher, and to make sure that nothing could happen and smooth my butt out, I would squeeze my big Kardashian butt into Spanx. Maybe we edit it, maybe we don't. We're just going to leave it. Anyway, I listened to a lot of Usher, and to make sure that nothing could happen, I smoothed my bottom out. I would squeeze my big Kardashian bottom into Spanx. That was no way I was taking off Spanx in front of a boy. That's true facts. My mom was always encouraged really uncomfortable Spanx. My mom my mom is so funny. Oh, and my dad scared me to death I would burn in hell if I lost my virginity. However, my friends did not wait, and I read a diary from when I was 13 that was deeply troubling. The entire thing is filled with stories of older boys assaulting middle school girls, and I about threw up. My niece at that my nieces are at this age, and I am scared. The internet is a wild west, and when I was 14, I wanted a ride to go sledding. And we messaged a man on the internet to come pick us up and drive us to the lake, and then we bummed a ride from a strange woman to go home. We could have been trafficked. Every one of my friends lost their innocence in the eighth grade to ninth grade, and I was the unicorn of the group. I waited until I was 17. That was my magic number because of the sound of music. And my old friend likely knew this because I told him everything. However, all my friends Each weekend there was a new story of a new trauma. Then they got reputations, rumors, rumors, rumors. I could not take it anymore. We started protecting each other more, building a wall of safe friends, safe parties. This was our happy place. We would go we would group hug and jump into leaves, run into water, sip coffee slow, listen to music loud down roads, screaming the words to so many songs, hours of songs. My old friend was a part of my safety net, and if I needed to leave the room safely, he would grab my hand and say, "She's with me, sorry." Oh boy, did I wish on a star that one day that would not be a joke. What was sad is by this time we were not surprised anymore, and each of my friends showed up torn and ragged, not remembering anything. Nothing was ever said or done. However, I had people watching my six for me. I was able to avoid by fighting. I had forgotten what I wrote in this chapter, and I'm taking a lot of my difficult stories to read out. So that's why it's a little jumpy, but I like to read on one take. But I was happy to follow him into the dark, stumble to safety with my old friend. He would gently grab my hand and tug me into some place away from that guy. Slowly, the memory of that guy was eating me alive, and each time he sat with me after a night of drink away that guy's memory. He sat with me while I throw up my regret. The look on his face with his weird eyeliner, because it was a phase. He just stared at me and felt sad, and then helped me up and carried me to bed into the laundry room. He could not help but think of a dozen Harry Potter jokes, asking me what song I would want to listen to pass out. Play Nicest Thing by Kate Nash, I would say in my drunk slurs. It reminds me of you, and then I would roll over, unable to unsay what I said. Yeah, I said it. Is this a delusion? Who knows, but damn did I dig that song when I was 16, and in my headphones I blasted that song on repeat, and I stared at him with her, and after months since I first wrote this story, it's not a delusion. He loved to put me to bed with music. He would lean on the washer and just watch me, reflecting about these memories. I could feel the heat of him. And during this time in my life, he was a comfort to me. When I was 15 and drinking bottles, it was really terrifying when I would overdo it. Trying to undo what I did was scary. My old friend would be equally torn down, would try to sober me up, give me bread, crackers, and water. It was a cycle. I would get way too drunk, flirt with my old friend like it was the end round in some dumb video game. Then he would turn me down because I am way too drunk, and then he would walk me to safety with the blanket and rub my back to stop the room from spinning. Then he would lay his head on my lower back, staring at my mountain while we fell asleep. He would always just sit with me, get me a rag, water, a joke, and just sit with me by the toilet, rubbing my back while I cried, laugh, while I just cried, rant about Corey and Topanga from Boy Meets World, laughing, saying, "Hey, that's kind of like us, huh?" This is my great riveting chapter. I think it's sweet. So, carry on. Thinking to myself, one day this will not be hard for us to be in the same place at the same time. And one day we will be in a world where we worked out. Then at the end, I would cry in the same toilet that I would later say goodbye to our child we never had. That story will go later on. When I knew I had real trouble on my hands, my fire buddy was left on red. I was busy in another chat. When I sent two songs, one from each of them, I turned my old friend's song suggestion first, always. Always his song first until this day I do this. When I'm searching in my playlist, those songs that make me feel like I'm standing with me, kissing on my neck and swaying with me, they just dig at me and make me think and make me feel. It's just like he's inside of my head. My subconscious wanted more and more every day, but he was forbidden fruit, and the only ever made me want him more. My old friend and I have been doing what we always did. That night in the basement, we listened to music and danced. He was my old friend and had the same energy level as me, and honestly, we annoyed everyone. We likely had ADHD and so much fun together. He was always the boy that I would chase on the playground. Let's go, girls. We need to go find my old friend. He's hiding from me. However, I can find him. I know all his favorite hiding places. And then when I found him, there he stood with a dumb look on his face. Buddy, you want to play with me or what? He would always say yes. He could never turn down a chance to be around his favorite person. And we would always get so loud talking and laughing. This was This would always land us at the teacher's desk with another counseling on our behavior, stepping on his foot to stop making me laugh, followed by my will you followed by you will be in trouble look if you do not knock it off, lingering by my grin. That was a green light to please keep going. He would pull me in to whisper a joke in my ear, then followed by a tingle that brought on by my smile and my gaze. When he did look away, it was my turn to stare at him, and I would just stare at him, staring at him for hours. He had a halo on him. He thought it was broken. It was not. It was big, bright, and yellow, just like the sun. When I looked at him, he makes me warm. The heat of him feels like my skin, like you're laying on a beach after a cold swim. He was perfect to me, and all I wanted to tell him was, "You belong with me." Words that were left in my internal dialogue of regret. Then one night the stars aligned long enough for a chance of a lifetime. The end.